Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing some hip release and strengthening. So today we've got Mel on the mat being the body, and I'm going to get Mel to do some leg slides. So you want to find your neutral position as you're doing this. Make sure that your sits bones are pointing towards the wall. Nice and relaxed. Find your pelvis, rib cage and opening of shoulders, and then you're going to apply a little pressure into your heel and slide that heel down towards the end of the mat to straighten your leg. And then at the same time, you're going to then exhale as you bring that leg back up, again applying a little pressure. Okay, so we'll do this 4 to 5 times, just making sure your pelvis is even and not rocking and not leading, the leg isn't leading that right side of your pelvis down. Once you've done your 4 to 5, we'll go on to the other leg. Same thing, give yourself a moment to regroup, find your pelvis, and off we go. Good, Mel. Now it's easier if you have a slidey surface or if you have socks and you're lying on the floor, because that allows the heel to slide a little easier. But if not, maybe just have a little hover off the mat. From here, I want to go into some breathing. Mel, if you'd like to place your hands just onto your rib cage for me. We'll just do some belly breathing first, and then from there, just nice, long, slow, easy breaths, connecting with your body. As you inhale, feel your belly blowing up like a balloon. Try not to hunch your shoulders, keeping it nice and wide across the collarbones and between your shoulder blades. Nice, easy movements. Then from here, after you've done about between 4 and 6, we'll go into the lateral or rib breathing. So you're trying to keep the front of your ribs as quiet as possible, not flaring too much, but you want to feel the sides expanding and feel a little bit of pressure of the back ribs onto the mat as you inhale. And again, do between 4 and 6 here. Mel, I'll get you to pop your hands down beside you. From here, we're just going to go into a little imprint. Inhale in your neutral position. And then as you exhale, rock the pelvis gently back, letting your abdominals, pelvic floor help the diaphragm get all the air out of your lungs. Good. Let's go maybe 4 to 6 here. After which we're going to continue up into a pelvic curl, so peeling each vertebra off the mat as we're coming up, feeling the weight between your shoulder blades. Lovely. You want to try and create a little hammock. So as you're pushing the energy out through your knees, you're pulling your heels back towards your butt. That should give you a nice little hammock. Inhale up here and then exhale as you roll down one vertebra at a time. Now, if you're likely to go into a bit of a cramp with your hamstrings, just make sure that you ease into your end range movement. Don't try and do everything all at once. Good. So we'll go about 6 here. If you wanted to add more of a challenge, you feel like you can and your hamstrings aren't cramping on you terribly, then we'll go into a single leg pelvic curl. How do you feel about that today, Mel? Yeah, good? Okay. So when you're ready, you'll bring one leg up into tabletop. Excellent. So just realign yourself, make sure that your pelvis is still nice and even and that you're not going into anterior tilt. Good. Inhale here. As you exhale, imprint and rolling up. Good. Now, as you come up, the higher you come up, the more your hip might want to come up to meet your rib cage. So I want you to really focus in on trying to extend that sitting bone towards the wall. Good. Good, so we'll do 4 to 6 each side. Mel, we can do 3. Now, it may feel heavier, like you have more of a load with that leg in tabletop, so just keep checking in with your pelvis, finding out if you're stable or not, or if the pelvis is wanting to drop to one side. Just lengthen a little bit through that right side, Mel. Yep. 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 Good. Good. Just one more. Lengthen a little bit more. Yeah, good. Excellent. Well done. How are the hamstrings? Good. Good. Excellent. Let's come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to go into quadruped for a moment. Find your neutral. Just do a few little breaths and a little bit of imprinting here. So just setting yourself up so that when you are starting to take the load into your pelvis, when you're lifting your legs, that you're not dropping your pelvis anteriorly. Good. Good. Now from here, you can either challenge yourself and add some ankle weights if you have them. If you don't, like we did in lockdown, you could get a kilo bag of rice and maybe wrap them onto your ankles. If you don't mind having a can, then you go for that as well, but really it's just as effective without weights. Good. So on your inhale, you're going to find your neutral. As you exhale, you're going to lift your heel towards the ceiling. Lovely. Trying to keep a 90-degree angle on that top part of your leg and the lower part of your leg. Good. Really important that your pelvis is not dropping forwards and you get a more of a lordosis through your back. It's really important to keep that neutral. Good. And we'd go about 6 to 8 here, but Mel will just keep it down to 4. Then from here, we're going to go out to the side. Now you could, if you're finding this difficult to do, you can swap and swap and swap and swap, but we want to add a little bit of a challenge. So from here, Mel's going to go out to the side. Good. And again, the pelvis is staying nice and stable. We don't want lots of movement there. It's about getting that thigh bone moving in the hip joint. Lovely. Again, we'll just do 4. Good. From here, you'll lengthen the leg. Nice and straight, and this one's a little bit challenging. Well, it is for me, and you won't get as much movement necessarily. So from here, you're going to lift the leg, lifting from the hip joint. Good. So really trying to think about lengthening that leg out of the hip joint to get a little bit more lift. Good. And again, the breathing is exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. Good. Then just sit back on your heels. Mel, have a little bit of a stretch out. Let's do the other side. as I said, if it's a little bit too much of a challenge initially, you can go one side, one side, one side, one side with each exercise. Once you get a little bit stronger, just keep trying to do the one leg for the series. Good. Just lift your pelvis a little bit, Mel. Yeah. And last one in the series. Excellent. Just sit back, give yourself a little stretch out. Then you're going to push back onto your feet. Good. And you're just going to roll yourself up. Excellent. And that should do you. Thank you.